Yeah. Hello, guys. It's the same day. In case you see us with the same outfit and you think that we're like dating, it's the same day. Okay. She's not always around, so now that she's around, we decided that we're gonna just film a whole bunch of video, and there's no point in changing outfits. Yeah. Today, yeah, we're gonna talk about like we're gonna get a little bit personal, like gonna interview you. Yeah, by the way, this is my sister, my little sister, Blessing. Blessing, welcome to
Hey
my
guys.
channel once again.
Hi everyone. My name is Blessing. You saw me from if you watched any of the other episodes or shows or something. Yeah, I'm here again.
Yeah. What's your name? Like, what's your full name?
Hey, let me give the botanical second. Just Blessing, Blessing Akobedu. You can call me Blessing. Adama. Yeah.
Okay. What did you study in school? Are you a graduate? Like, what did you study? If you are.
I as small as I look, I completed undergrad. I studied biology.
Okay. So are you working?
I'm still in school. Still in school. No, I'm a graduate student, so kind of working and going to school at the same time, but working in school.
Okay. So how do you like the experience so far?
It's a journey, I have to say. It has its ups and downs, bittersweet moments, but I think overall it's something that is rewarding. So I'm still waiting to get the reward at the end, but for the meantime, just it's a roller coaster.
So yeah, you said you finished undergraduate. Like, what school did you go to as an undergraduate student?
We are the best. What? I went to the I went to the illustrious Morgan State University, MSU, in Baltimore, Maryland. Beers for life.
Okay, so you said you're a grad student, right?
Yes.
And what's like, what are you doing as a grad student? Tell us, for us that did not go to school. Though.
Yeah, I'm a grad student, so basically, I am going for my PhD in molecular pharmacology and physiology. So, pretty much in the STEM.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So, like, what was the routes? Like, I understand you didn't go for what's it called, masters. You went straight from undergrad to PhD, right?
Mm-hmm.
So how did you do that? Like,
so while I was at Morgan, I was a bio major, so I was doing research, working in the lab. So basically, like, people who are looking for the cure to coronavirus, but not me. Essentially doing the kind of things they do working in the lab. So I started doing that while in undergrad, and I was part of a research program by the NIH, the National Institute of Health. Was
I didn't know
sponsored
that.
through the national.
I knew
I was
you
in a
did something.
program.
Yeah, but I
Yeah.
didn't know it was by NIH.
NIH is the one that provided the funding.
Okay.
But I was in that program, and through that program, I was able to travel to different schools and to present my research findings. And that's how I came to know about my school and meet people. And also through that program, to get into grad school, at least for my field, you need to take the GRE, which is a standardized test, kind of
you
like the
took
SATs.
GRE?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
I took GRE, but I just took the English and math and writing one, the basic one. Well, kind of the general GRE. So I took that, and I didn't do too well on it, to be honest, but did enough to get by.
Yeah.
And lucky enough, to my program wasn't really weighing in too much on that, because they don't really believe that standardized tests should define your intellect.
Yeah,
So
I don't think so either.
I took the GRE and then applied to schools. So the thing is, with grad school, you do pay for like, you can pay for like applications and stuff, but as a minority student in the STEM, most of the time those application fees get waived if you check that you're a minority, because they do that to increase minority student populations.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, they can waive your application fee. So after you apply to the school, they can invite you back for interview, and the interview, mainly during the interview process, they're asking you about like your research area, why you want to go to the school, why you want to do a PhD, you know, like I said, actually about your research. So if you, depending on how you do there, you also, not only is the school interviewing you, but you also are interviewing the school in a way, because you look at the size of the graduate program, the students that are there, the kind of research they're doing, if it's something you like or don't like. You also look at the environment, because you're going to be spending like 4 to 5 years in the school. So you need to see, you know, does it rain a lot? Like, I don't necessarily like Seattle, no offense to Seattle, but I feel like it rains a lot there. So I wouldn't really like to like stay there 4 to 5 years for school. So you kind of look at the climate, you know, for people who like 4-season weather, you know, do you want to be in a place like that? Or do you want to go to somewhere like California, where it's like warmer, city-like, or whatever? So you check all those boxes, you know, again, talk to the students, talk to the faculty members, see if these are the people you want to spend your time with. So after that interview process, the school will usually notify you if you get in or not. And then the rest of there is the roller coaster.
Okay, thanks for that. That's a good information. So do you think an international student also have a chance of going towards this route? Do you think an international student can go directly from the undergrad to the graduate PhD studies?
Yes, of course. So I think now having a master's to get into a PhD is not really like a requirement. I guess it depends on the school and the program. But I think on the, like, a lot of, not let me not say a lot of people. Some people take some time off before they go into a PhD for like personal reasons or whatever. But some people take a master's. The only advantage I've seen having a master's is probably you may get waived off the number of classes that you have to take. Okay. But outside of that, your master's doesn't, I mean, again, your master's probably give you a little more experience than somebody who's coming from undergrad. But outside of that, there's not much of a difference. And for an international student, yes, we have a bunch of international students at my school. You know, just apply. I'm sure they
didn't do their undergrad here?
Yes, my friend did not do his undergrad here, to the best of my knowledge.
Where is he from? Nigeria?
Yes, from Nigeria. He applied. I think he did a master's here though, at a different institution, and then applied to the PhD. I don't really, actually. I think they're probably. I've interacted with some international students. So if I remember correctly, I think some of them have actually just applied from undergrad. But as an international student, there are extra tests that you need to take.
It makes sense.
So, but besides that, I think, you know, the process may be similar. I mean, I didn't apply as an international student, so I don't really have all the information about that, but it's possible.
So, like, I forgot to ask at the beginning, what school do you attend?
So, I went to undergrad in Morgan State, and now I'm at Brown University in Providence, Rhode Island. Still a beer, but now a brown beer. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So, have you always known that you're gonna take this pariah card? I cannot talk. Have you always known that you're gonna take this career path?
Is it grad school? No, I haven't always thought that I was gonna go to grad school.
Okay, like when you grew up, like what? Like
when I grew up, I didn't think I wanted to be a scientist growing up. Actually, I wanted to be a businesswoman. Because I remember going to the bank.
Thank God you did not, because you could talk her into giving you the whole money in her accounts. Thank God you did not.
Not anymore. But when I was growing up, I wanted to be a businesswoman because I used to like the way the bankers dressed with their skirt and their white shirt and everything polished in their blazers. So I really liked how the business people dressed, and I wanted to go into business. But obviously, America being a land of opportunity, you come and you have more exposure to other things and other possibilities, and you have other considerations.
Okay. So, like, when you were in high school, did you see yourself being a scientist?
In high school, yes. Like, towards my junior year of high school. Because I remember I was taking this class, medical science or something, some medical science class, and we had to do this project where we go look up our future career, look up the job outlook.
It's good they did that.
Yeah, they had us do that, and honestly, I was looking into pharmacy. I mean, I was looking into something in the STEM because I knew that, there will always be a job outlook in the health-related career. So I was looking into it, and I remember coming across pharmacy, and I looked up how much they made. I was like, whoa, I'm making this. I started looking at, I think it was the U.S. Bureau something website.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
So I went there, and like they even show you like the kind of skill set you need, the kind of like characteristics, so to say, of whatever profession. So like I started reading all these things, and somehow I kind of started seeing myself, and the person needs to be somebody who's critical, needs to be somebody who's observant. I mean, I don't have all the characteristics still, but I kind of like, the more I read about it, the more I started like kind of fitting into it, and I was like, okay, I want to pursue this career path. So I mean, obviously, I'm not panning out the science. I'm not panning out a pharmacist, but I am still doing something related to drugs.
Yeah, I remember when you were applying to schools, and I think you talked to me about it. I'm like, okay, I think pharmacy was a good fit.
I think I was deciding, should I go to pharmacist school or go to PhD? I mean, actually, I think I applied to both, actually. I applied to both. I never got into any of the pharmacy schools, so I really think God had a different plan from what I had. Because
sometimes
I was set on going to pharmacy school, but God, like, nah, sis.
Yeah, sometimes we plan something else and something else happened. Anyway, it's not like you're too far away from your original plan, anyways.
No, I mean, I can still go to pharmacy school if I want after.
Yeah, but like what I'm saying is like you're still like what you're doing is pharmacy related, right?
Somehow, yes. Yeah. Somehow it's still like, drug discovery, drug development.
So like so after now you start making the big money.
Oh, that's what we all hope for.
Yeah, so yeah. So so now you're in school, like what's your work, like what's your responsibility? Now you're in school and I guess you're working, right, to sustain yourself. So like what's your responsibility at work like?
Okay, so I'm a scientist in training. So my everyday, I guess.
Yeah, like what is it like?
So I don't really have a schedule per se. It depends on the work that I need to do. So I have a project that I'm working on. Kind of like generally speaking, it's in drug discovery. So I work with cancer cells, brain tumors, glioblastoma. So my goal is to try to figure out a way to better treat this disease because it's very deadly and the treatment options have not been very successful. So I'm trying to figure out a better way to treat this disease. And my day-to-day life, like I said, varies. I can come in depending on the experiments that I need to run. I may come in like as early as 6 a.m. or 7 a.m. and don't leave till like 10 or 11 p.m. Again, depending on the amount of work. But average day, I like to come in around 10 in the morning. If for an early day. But ideally, since my lab is pretty big, I tend to like come in the evening, maybe around 4 or so, when nobody's using the instrument that I need, so I can work in peace and quiet and have everything. So I don't mind coming in like around 3 or 4 p.m. and leaving like around 1 or 2 a.m. Again, depending on what I need to do. But I'm not gonna go into the details, nitty-gritty details of everything. But I work in a wet lab.
Okay.
So it's a lot of experiment, pipetting, calculating, working with very, very small volumes and microliters. But yeah.
Okay, that sounds interesting. I don't know, but yeah,
It's very flexible, I have to say. I mean, yeah, all those long hours I'm mentioning, I obviously don't work like this every day. There are days I legit come in for 2 hours, or I don't even come in at all. I just work from home. So it's very, very flexible. You make your own schedule unless there's something that requires you to be there at the same time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So how has it been? Because obviously you moved from Maryland to Rhode Island. How has it been like adapting to the environment? Yes, it's the same US, but like you don't have family close by. Like how has it been?
Yeah, that's a very interesting question you asked. I still feel like I'm adapting. I keep running back to Maryland every now and then, which my supervisor has noticed. But yeah, it's different. Maryland, I feel like has been home to me in a way. You know, I did high school, undergrad, and I made a lot of friends along the way. And Rhode Island was slightly different. I think one of the most striking differences for Rhode Island, when I first moved, my roommates were like total strangers. I never met them, didn't know them or whatever. But the beauty of it was you don't have, if your roommate doesn't pay their rent, you don't have to worry about it, because it was rented out. The house was rented out by rooms, so everybody pay your own rent. So it was kind of hard adjusting to that a bit.
Yeah, you guys shared the same kitchen, right?
Yeah, so shared the same.
Yeah,
it was a
a
3-bedroom, 1 bathroom. Luckily the third person wasn't really there, so it was just me and the other roommate.
1 bathroom?
Yes,
You
3-bedroom, 1
me?
bathroom. Girls.
Yeah, I don't mind sharing kitchen with someone I don't know, but the bathroom part.
Yeah, so that was a transition. I mean, for me living in Baltimore with my friends and people I was close with, to like move into this random place, and the weather is kind of different too.
Yeah, I think it's colder, right?
Yeah, it's colder in Rhode Island. But I feel like in the first summer, like saw this weird thing on my skin. I'm still like, oh my gosh, I wasn't adapting very well or whatever. But I feel like, I miss Maryland because of the culture and the vibe. I mean, I'm coming from HBCU, it's always lit, and I don't have anything bad against my current school, but it's just a different cultural environment and dynamics.
And how is the program? Like, are there like a lot of black people, or you're in the minority? Because I know
definitely.
Morgan,
definitely in the minority here. I mean, Morgan is again an HBCU, so it's mainly a lot of folks, minority students. But here, definitely, I am in the minority here. Currently, my program is very small. I think we're a total of like 19 students. That's from the first year to like the graduating people. That number may have changed now, because some people have graduated and some people are still there. But yeah, I'm the only black girl right now, and there's another black guy in the program. But my program is very because it's small, it's almost like a family in a way, because people like, you kind of have people to talk to. You have your cohort, I mean, despite the fact that we all have different cultures, we still like, at least we all agree on the science, and people are pretty helpful, I have to say, in a way. Like when people are approachable, and I think that's the one thing that really makes my program stand out, because it's very small and intimate in a way. I remember
that's good.
I remember when I was starting, they're like, oh yeah, it's a small program. I was like, oh, people about to be in my business. But yes, they are kind of in your business, but not like, oh, rosy, let me get this. It's more so in your business, like, oh, what do you need? Or, when I was moving, I could be like, hey, like I called somebody from my program, like, oh, can you come help me move? And they legit like drove over, helped me move my stuff into my apartment and stuff like that.
That was nice.
So yeah, it's easy to like build friendship. I mean, as a minority student, it feels weird a little bit, because sometimes, unfortunately, you're the one like representing your entire race. So to say, so whatever you do can be you don't know how it's going to be interpreted, and you're kind of cautious to make sure that you're not offending anyone, and nobody really says anything offensive to you, so it can get pretty sensitive.
Yeah, I understand. So overall, like, it's been like a nice ride and all that.
A big transition. I'm still transitioning.
So, what advice would you give to like the younger version of you, before you got, like, what would you have done different? And what advice would you give to a younger person that is looking up to doing something like this? A younger person, maybe be it still an undergrad student that is looking forward to do, like, following the same path that you took. So, like, what advice would you give to the person? What are those things that you felt like, oh, I actually did wrong here, and maybe if I were to redo this, I could do this part better, be it from your undergrad section till like where you are at now?
Okay. Yeah, that's a really good question. I think one thing, looking back, one thing I kind of wish that I did better probably was just taking some classes a little more seriously, some of the science classes, and probably like, not necessarily done a lot more research, because I think I did okay in my research. Like, I went to a lot of conferences, I did a lot of presentations.
Oh, you did a lot of presenting.
Yeah, I traveled. I've gone to more states than I would have gone to with my own money for free. So, but I think one thing I would have done is some of my science classes I could have taken a little more seriously, because it was just like, oh, this teacher, we don't really teaching very well. So we're like, oh, we just, just did that. I think, actually, no. I take that. I think I remember what it is now. What I should have done more was like focus more on understanding concepts than cramming. Because I don't know, for some reason I feel like I was pretty good at cramming things, multiple choice questions. Like, I can remember this equals that equals that, cram everything, but I never really like took time to understand why is this equal to that and what is another way. Because that's the big thing about being a graduate student. You have to figure things out on your own, and you have to figure out all the possible answers to the question, because a question does not just have one answer usually. So in undergrad, I was kind of like fixated on my grades. Okay, I gotta get the A's and all. And in grad school, nobody cares about your grade. I don't even have a GPA right now. I have to calculate my own GPA. But just understanding concepts, the how, the what. Those are like very, very important. And I feel like those are things I didn't really focus too much on as an undergrad. I kind of just like, all right, let's get this grades, pop the A's, and move out and keep going. And I feel like that's a mistake a lot of undergrads make, which you can't really blame them, because the GPA is important for them to like graduate, to get a job. And I think that's something that probably is a systematic thing that needs to be fixed in a way, where like it gives students the opportunity to actually learn, not the burden of getting a grade or focusing on GPA, but like give them that time to like, actually understand what they're doing and why they're doing it. Because that will help you, not just necessarily for grad school. I think that will help you in a lot of aspects in life, because if you're ever in a situation, you can think, how do I fix this? Not running to a textbook to be like, or like running to the multiple choice and trying to figure out, because life doesn't really give you multiple choice answers. You have to figure it out.
This stuff you just said, it makes a whole bunch of sense, because like, have you ever taken class that you took this class, you did well, but at the end of the class, you did all your schoolwork, you passed the exams, you wrote a paper if one was asked for, and you came out and you're like, I really didn't, I can't even think about something that I actually learned. I would say I learned this from this class. Have you ever been in such situation?
Oh yeah, multiple times. That's the thing that I would say like is the biggest takeaway. Like when you ask a question of what would you do better, or what the advice you would give to the younger folks. Yeah, that's the one thing that I look back on and I'm like, oh God. Like, this is grad school is a whole different ball game. Like, you have to figure it out. Not just like, okay, you can ask people for help, but that critical thinking ability to like solve a problem before you, because when you go to people, they'll be like, oh yeah, have you done this? Like that.
What did you do?
It always reflects better when you've done your homework and be like, can you help me with this? I've looked here, done this, and this is what I found. But can you give me your second input, or can you like let me know if I'm going in the right direction? Like, you have to come with something. You can't just
walk up and expect it to be handed down to you.
Exactly. So I think that's going back to the whole college thing, it's important to really understand, because I think a lot of college students, unless you are that person who's like driven to be like, oh, I'm so fixated on this and I'm gonna learn everything about it. If you just wait on your professors, if you just go off of what your professors are giving you, yeah, you will struggle, because sometimes professors teach you what they know, and it's up to you to kind of like figure out, okay, what do I want to know more. But I also think that if GPA wasn't an issue, I think a lot of people will come out of college with more substance.
Yeah.
Because that pressure of having a GPA and getting A plus in classes, it puts a lot of pressure. It takes away. I think it takes away from the learning.
It does.
From the learning.
It does.
So
it does.
that's the thing. Just even that's the system that we have now. If to work around it, I think the best thing is just, once you know what you want to do, let's say you want to go to grad school, just focus on those science classes, those bio classes, chemistry classes. Really, really focus on understanding the basics. Not necessarily in all details, but those foundational ones, like your bio 101. What is a gene? What is a protein? What is DNA? Those basic things. Make sure you really understand the process of transcription, translation. Especially if you're going into if you want to do anything like biology related and chemistry, understand your structures, understand if you take away this ring or take away this molecule, how does that change everything? All those kind of intricate details, make sure you really are solid on that. Because in grad school, no one is really going to start teaching you from those basics. They assume that you have a bachelor degree and you know what you've done. And whatever you don't know, you have to figure out a way to learn, build, and solidify that. So,
yeah, it's been an interesting and nice conversation. Yeah, thanks for coming. Yeah, we are at the end of this particular video. Please, once again, if you like what you're seeing or if you like what you saw, please give us a like button and give us a thumbs up. Yes, if you like what you saw, please thumbs up for us. And subscribe, because we are in this business to grow this channel. Thanks again, and I'll see you in my next. Bye-bye.